so pardon knocks in the way. Here we are, not outside, it's raining right now, so we're in the garage. Knox is in here. Come here, buddy. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Oh, he doesn't know where the camera's at, but he's a good boy. So, a couple weeks ago, actually last weekend, not 2 weeks, last weekend, South Main Cycles had their Pivot demo day. Super fun. I got to ride a Pivot Switchblade, which was an interesting bike to say the least. David rode a Pivot Trailcat SL, that little short travel, light travel trail bike is the most interesting type of bike for me, at least right now, and I think he's kind of on the same wavelength and something you could take to Pisgah and ride everything out there, but also be really good for Charlotte and where we're at on jump lines and a lot of pedally trails. So that was the idea with that, and I tried to do a good job of explaining a little bit what the bike was feeling like while I was riding it. All right, shout out Mills over at South Main Cycles, Pivot demo day. I'm on the Pivot Switchblade XL. David is on the Pivot Trailcat SL, size extra small.
Hobbit.
Just kidding, is that a medium or small?
It's a medium.
Medium, looks good, the tall boy competitor. I think if you were to buy this, you'd probably want to put a Float X on here, same size, just because it's a little bit better for downhills. If we were to take it to DuPont, the little shocks kind of get hot and then start to fade some, but we'll give them a rip and let you know how it goes. Pivot Firebird review. No, Pivot Switchblade review. Rattly. Hang on, David. One, I can't pedal across this, and two, something is rattling like crazy.
The XTR could be that. Is that loose? Probably
Should these be tight?
Well, you have to pull it up from the top to make it super tight.
Is that it?
Oh yeah, it's totally that cable.
Do these have tube-in-tube cable routing? So it's on the inside. I do like the Shimano drivetrain, I'll tell you that.
Oh really?
Yeah, it shifts way faster than SRAM. You ain't kidding, these bikes do pedal good. How's it going?
Good, how are y'all?
Good.
How about yours?
It's immediately comfortable. It pedals about like the tall boy, maybe a little worse with that travel.
Yeah.
Very supportive, like where the Yeti just smashes and like smooths everything out. It's a little more bumpy. I'd say it even feels a little more bumpy than the tall boy, but pedals about like a tall boy with more travel.
But the Geo feels really comfortable. Like there's nothing weird about it.
Yeah.
At this second, the only thing I don't like is how noisy it is. Oh shit. There's another huge gap up there. Did you see that?
Yeah. Usually it's not packed with dirt.
Yeah, he said where he thought he saw us going that way or something, and he went that way. Now he said he'd meet us at the car, so I don't know how to get to the car from here. I feel like this bike's a little bit on that like in between where you're like jumping over things, and I'm not sure I want to pop or if I just want to smash. That was an interesting line choice you just took. Yeah, sniper route. That's a fun section. Oh, what the heck just happened? He broke his bike. No way, he actually broke his bike.
You think it's broken?
Yes.
Fucking shit, bro.
Do I think it's broken?
Bro, I didn't even get a whole lap in, dude.
It didn't break a spoke though.
I barely even tapped the rock.
You think you barely tapped the rock. I watched it happen, dude. You smacked that fucking rock. Run a GX cassette because the other cassette is for an HG driver body. This bike I actually do like when it's like pedally, but in the steep it's like it's a little sketch. But
the only real complaint that I have about this bike is that it made a lot of noise. And talking to David, he said that his Firebird that he got a while ago also made a bunch of noise, but you can mitigate that by pulling the cables tight through the headset ports, through the head tube ports. It does not have internal headset cable routing, but it does have little clamps, and you can pull the cable tight and then tighten down that little clamp. And his Firebird is very quiet, so maybe that's just something they have with the setup, so you can make adjustments with the bike for demo bikes. However, my thought is that when you're handing out bikes for people to try, if you're trying to gain new Pivot customers, probably have these bikes set up as best as possible so whoever's riding them might not get a negative representation from a bike that otherwise is very good. So everybody else might have this bike and think it just makes a bunch of noise and it's really just the cables rattling and you can actually fix that. But they might not know that if they don't know anybody that has one of these bikes, or if they don't ask the question. They might just have a bad opinion of the brand out the gate, which probably not good, especially since these bikes actually ride very, very well. And this was my first time riding a DW Link bike, and this bike has about that 140-ish, 150 mil travel bike. This bike pedals like a much shorter travel bike in a good way. It's very efficient, and I was able to keep up with David on the littler bike most of the day, and I felt like I could have gone a long time. And this bike is definitely for somebody that would only really want to have one bike, and it can handle park, it can handle cross-country stuff, it can handle pretty much everything you're going to throw at it. However, it is that all-arounder, jack of all trades, master of none type bike, where it's not the fastest bike downhill, it's also not the fastest bike uphill. But if you're going to have one bike and you want it to do everything, it's going to be good for that. You're going to beat your friends on enduro bikes up the hill, and you're going to beat your friends on cross-country bikes down the hill. And that's for people that can only have one bike or only want one bike, this is probably in contention for that bike. Suspension feel very supportive. Even an SB140 I feels like is more downhill oriented, and pedals maybe about the same. But the Switchblade was very light, very easy to ride, and extremely comfortable right out of the gate. So I don't want to talk too much, but I will say that this bike, I did like it. Made a little bit of noise. I think we could probably fix that, so I wouldn't consider that really an issue. It handles very nicely, very, very predictable, and that's the one thing that I can say about this bike that I really like. And it's very similar to the Tall Boys, that the way the bike works is extremely predictable. You're gonna hop on it, and there's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy gonna happen with the bike. I don't want to say anything too special with it. There's nothing crazy, like it doesn't do anything really well other than do everything pretty well. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. And if you really want to try one, hit Mills up at South Main and he can find you a bike to ride. And but yeah, thanks again, Mills, for letting us try these bikes. Thanks to Pivot Cycles for letting us ride these bikes. And my first experience with a Pivot and first experience with a DW Link bike was pretty good. I had pretty high expectations coming into it, and I think it fulfilled those expectations. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out trying to double the subscriber count for the year, and I couldn't do without you guys, so let's keep it going.